Today on UMTV News, former President Donald Trump lands in New York City for his historic arraignment.
Plus, tornadoes leave dozens dead after storms range through the South and the Midwest with more severe weather on the way.
And later on, local poets share their pieces at an open mic, but with a comfy and fuzzy twist.
All that and more coming up on this edition of UMTV News, and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome to UMTV News. I'm Brandy Troop.
And I am Giselle Arciniega. Thanks for joining us. Former President Donald Trump has been arraigned in New York City today on more than 30 business fraud-related charges. Trump was under arrest and in police custody before his arraignment. He was fingerprinted as part of this arrest, but his mugshot was not taken. A judge ruled that news outlets could not broadcast the arraignment live, but 5 still photographers were allowed to take pictures of Trump and the courtroom before the hearing began. Presiding over the arraignment of former President Donald Trump in Manhattan today, rejecting the request made by several media outlets to broadcast the historic proceedings. Meanwhile, New York City is preparing for a moment never before seen in the United States, as Trump becomes the first former or sitting president to be criminally charged.
Obviously, this is different. This has never happened before. I've never had Secret Service involved in an arraignment.
Security will be tied with street closures until after the arraignment. The city says they're actively monitoring any threats of violence or mass demonstrations, including those by a Georgia representative and Trump supporters.
And although we have no specific threats, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is known to spread misinformation and hate speech, she stated she's coming to town. While you're in town, be on your best behavior.
Trump is expected to enter a plea of not guilty to the dozens of charges he says to face. Charges his legal team is ready to challenge.
We know that this was based on Stormy Daniels. We know what's in it. It's a bunch of garbage.
Trump's arraignment was quick and routine, but it represents an historic moment in the United States. He's the first former U.S. president to be indicted. Trump is expected back in his Florida estate of Mar-a-Lago tonight.
One American journalist faces up to 20 years behind bars in Russia after officials there claim he was trying to steal state secrets. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich is the first American journalist to be arrested in Russia since the Cold War. The Wall Street Journal has denied the charges, and President Biden and Secretary of State Antony Blinken have called on Russia to release the reporter.
Evan is not a spy. Evan has never been a spy. Evan has never worked for the U.S. government, and he is an independent journalist employed by the Wall Street Journal, as you all know. This is a case that is a priority for this president.
On Monday, Gershkovich appealed his arrest, but no date has been set for the hearing.
Also in Russia, an explosion in St. Petersburg cafe has killed a prominent military blogger, Vladimir Tatarsky, a strong supporter of President Putin and the war against Ukraine. Police said the bomb was planted inside the bus of the blogger, and a woman handed to Tatarsky himself before it exploded. 30 others in the cafe were wounded from the blast, but no one are in critical conditions, according to Russia Health Ministry.
Southern states are still experiencing the effects of recent tornadoes in the area. In Illinois, Arkansas, Indiana, Tennessee, Arizona, there have been 32 reported deaths so far. And forecasters say these tornadoes will continue to move through the already affected area, potentially affecting 70 million people. Central and upper Midwest states are on a tornado warning until later today. And residents in southeastern Arizona to southwestern Iowa are on red flag warning for severe fires.
And more severe weather across the globe. An avalanche has killed at least 7 people and injured 13 in the Indian Himalayan mountain area. The avalanche hit at the border between the India, Himalayas, and the Chinese Tibet region. The Army rescued 20 people from the area so far, with 8 survivors in critical conditions.
Following last week's Nashville deadly school shooting, students are demanding stricter gun laws. On Monday, hundreds gathered at the state capitol to demand action after a shooter killed 6 people at the Covenant School last week. In response, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee says he is expanding his school safety plan. The bill will provide armed guards, extra school security, and mental health resources. Meanwhile, police say they have recovered a suicide note, weapons, and journals from the shooter.
Most beneficial thing that can come from reading the manifesto written by the shooter is, were there red flags? We can see the descent into this.
March for Our Lives demonstrators say Tennessee is home to some of the loosest gun laws in the nation, but Governor Lee says he will not add any gun restrictions in the state.
America's struggling economy has forced many businesses to make cuts, and large corporations are not immune. Walmart is laying off more than 2,000 warehouse workers. The cuts are happening in Texas, Pennsylvania, Florida, and New Jersey. According to Walmart, filing with the Department of Labor, the company recently told investors to expect slower sales and profit growth in the year ahead. And right behind them is fast food chain McDonald's. According to the Wall Street Journal, the restaurant was told all corporate employees to work from home this week in anticipation for layoff. It is not clear how many will be affected or why the change the bill is firing workers, as their sales went up 11% last year.
We are going to take a short break now, but when we return,
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is still battling it out with Disney in a struggle for power.
also find out how a student organization at UM is addressing issues related to sexual abuse and mental health. We will be right back.
Right! Go! Bro, but you're not even gonna do anything! Yes, I was! Yes, no!
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' battle with the Walt Disney Company continues. Last month, DeSantis signed a bill to give himself power over Disney taxing district, but Disney had another plan in mind. Just day off before DeSantis' appointed board took over, Disney cut a deal with the outgoing board.
Back and forth going on now with the state taking control, but rest assured, you ain't seen nothing yet. There's more to come in that regard.
Today, DeSantis requested the Inspector General to launch a criminal and civil investigation into actions taken by the outgoing board. Disney CEO Bob Iger accused DeSantis of being anti-business on Monday, but the company is standing firm, saying everything they did was in compliance with Florida laws.
Politician Nikki Fried has been released from jail in Tallahassee following ongoing protests over the Senate's 6-week ban on abortions, expected to pass the legislature. The former Florida Commissioner of Agriculture was arrested for trespassing during the protest. State Senate Minority Leader Lauren Book was seen protesting with Fried, as both were released Monday before midnight. The two politicians were the first released, while nearly 45 other demonstrators protested the 6-week abortion ban.
And today in Miami-Dade County, the home of the MVAS Miami Heat is getting yet another new name. Global software firm Kaseya agreed to a naming rights deal with the franchise and Miami-Dade County, which will extend through 2040. The previous name holder, FTX, declared bankruptcy in January.
Counseling Outreach Peer Education, better known as COPE, is doing its part in working to give UM students a voice about sexual abuse and mental health. COPE hosted a sexual violence event on The Rock yesterday that featured musical performances, poetry readings, and art presentations from students. All of them aim to uplift and empower.
Raising the flag means noticing signs of sexual assault or sexual abuse when they start, so that we can stop it before it happens, and raising a flag to say it's okay to talk about these things, and it's better when we talk about them because we can get help, and the community is just here to support you, and it's raising a flag to say we stand by you and we support you and we are here to get you the help that you need.
The event concluded with students planting their flags around the U statue with their own written encouraging messages. The flags remained raised overnight.
Time for another short break now, but when UMTV News returns,
we will take you to one event that aimed at getting people together and feeding them delicious food.
And we will have highlights from the Hurricanes basketball action in Houston. Stay with us.
I was told not to talk about it. So I'm here to talk about it.
Because I can't stay quiet.
I was able to break my silence.
Because of those who refuse to stay quiet. I am a businesswoman.
Activist.
Survivor. Survivor. Survivor.
The weather is heating up and more people are heading outside in their local communities. Justice Johnson is in studio to tell us what community fun he engaged with this past weekend. Hello, Justice.
What's up, guys? COVID-19 put a stop to many things everywhere, including in the kitchen. Now, chefs across the country are turning their stoves back on and serving one of America's greatest culinary creations.
You may ask, what is she eating to make her dance? Well, the answer is chili. This is the 8th annual chili cook-off hosted at Pinecrest Gardens. This event draws out many Florida residents.
It's all of Miami-Dade, so people have come as far as Monroe County, down in the Keys, and on the west coast, Collier County and West Palm Beach.
Attendees tried 3 types of chili from several cooks in the International Chili Society, coming from places like Arizona, Georgia, and even Cuba.
Yeah, the crowd's been fantastic, and I think they appreciate something that's kind of homegrown and home cooked, and yeah, but it feels good and satisfying.
Cash prizes and a cool trophy were up for grabs, which made this competition extra competitive.
10 professional teams came as far as Arizona to be here to compete. The competition is split between best chili, best salsa, and people's choice, and boy has it been tough. Several professional teams compete nationally, but for this year's competition, there's one new kid on the block.
So we have first responders here, the Pinecrest Police Department, and a few other allied groups here making chili for us today.
I think that's been great, and we've gotten great feedback. Everybody's been great. Hopefully, they enjoy our chili just as much as we've enjoyed giving it to them.
Attendees got a pink ticket to vote for best chili. At the end, the votes were tallied and a winner was chosen.
And the first place winner for Chili Red going to Harlan Barr.
One resident finds joy in seeing an event like this happen in her community post-COVID-19.
Everybody's out enjoying themselves. I mean, how long has it been? At last, we're back to normal.
And back to normal, we are.
Next year's Chili Cook-Off will be a 2-day event in late March, early April. Look out for future Pinecrest Gardens event at pinecrestgardens.org. For UMTV, I'm Justice Johnson.
Thank you, Justice. The Miami Hurricane men's basketball team went all the way to the Final Four for the first time in history, while thousands of fans supported this weekend from Coral Gables. University of Miami students and faculty members from across campus joined Miami-Dade residents to watch Miami take on 4th-seeded Connecticut at the Wasco Center on Saturday. The arena welcomed fans with a live stream from CBS, as Hurricanes fans also enjoyed performances from the school cheers team and the Frost Band of the Hour.
It was full of energy. The student crowd was amazing, but sadly we didn't come out with the win we wanted, but we're definitely proud of the team. They had a great season, and it was super fun to attend all the games at Watsco.
Miami lost to Connecticut 72 to 59 and finished it with 29 wins and 8 losses in the 12 seasons under head coach Jim Larrañaga. And although
Miami fans are not too happy, one school took home the big win on Monday, the University of Connecticut. UConn fans were overjoyed with the team's major success. The Huskies won the final March Madness match by a whopping 17 points over San Diego State. Back in Connecticut, students were dancing and cheering throughout campus following the game. This is the 5th time UConn has won the NCAA championship.
Beneath the moon glow's imagination take flight. Words woven in dreams. Now, that was a haiku, and there were many more just like it, an event this past weekend. Maya Broadwater was there and join us now live with more. Maya, what can you tell us?
Yeah, guys, Miami is known for its vibrant culture, and this weekend was no exception. Children gathered in Miami Beach to attend an event hosted by the nonprofit Oh Miami. The event had art, music, poetry, and of course, an electric atmosphere. In the heart of Miami, young poets gathered to share their love for verse and all things cozy. Poetries in Pajamas took place in the Miami Beach Botanical Gardens, and it all started with a dream that began in a bunk bed. Meet Sam, the 14-year-old poet whose love for bedtime stories inspired Poetry in Pajamas, a community-wide event that celebrates the magic of words and the comfort of PJs. When Sam was younger, he and his brother Simon used to read poetry before bed and post videos of it on YouTube.
Poetry in Pajamas!
A few years ago, Sam submitted a poem about pajamas to Oh Miami, a local poetry organization, and it was selected to be read at one of their festivals.
So when he read it, afterwards they said, wow, you did an amazing job reading that. Who are you? And he said, I'm Sam. And then getting to know him, he talked more about our little Poetry in Pajamas thing. And they said, oh, that's cool. Maybe we should do it all together. And that's what inspired to do it for the community.
And Sam says that interaction was a catalyst for his continued poetic pursuits.
I've loved poetry ever since I was little and ever since I can remember. I think that it really just brings out the words that you can't really talk about just talking to someone like me and you.
As you may be able to see behind me, this event has drawn a large crowd of families and poetry lovers alike, all in celebration of creativity, community, and the power of spoken word. This event is just a reminder of the importance of creating spaces for children where they can feel empowered and confident to share their spoken word. Today, Poetry in Pajamas is a beloved tradition in Miami-Dade, now on its 6th year, where kids of all ages come together to share their favorite poems, published or original, in front of an audience of pajama-clad peers. In addition to the poetry, there was a live performance by Afro Beta, an interactive art station by Dale Zine, and pizza for sale by Simply Good Pizza. But the real star of the night was the poetry.
Homework, oh homework, I hate you stink. I wish I could wash you away in the sink. Never be scared to tell what you really want to say. Just say it and be yourself.
As the night wears on, the young poets continue to take the stage, their words weaving stories that inspire and uplift. It's a celebration of the power of poetry and the joy of cozy pajamas. Poetry in Pajamas was just a reminder of the importance of artistic expression and community. Thanks to organizations like Oh Miami, events just like this one will continue to inspire and uplift adults and children alike for years to come. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Maya Broadwater.
Thank you, Maya. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us on UMTV News.
We'll be back next week at the same time. Have a great night and stay safe.